So before I hop in the damn shower, right? I uh I just came across a video. Actually, I kind of like zoned out while I was like listening to it. I kind of literally was zoning out, right? Because it was this African who's talking to this Haitian American about American culture, right? And she couldn't really even explain anything. Like she really couldn't. It was crazy. It was crazy. And so what happened is um as I was listening to it, um I couldn't even barely catch all of it because it was just I just heard the accent, the music, and I was just like poop out. But of course, you know me, I always put a spin on it, right? Isn't it funny how now y'all are starting to see the jealousy that a lot of these black immigrants have for you already? Y'all starting to see it now, right? Now y'all start to realize how jealous a lot of them are. Let me tell you what told me. It happened maybe about 7, 8 years ago. Don't get me to remembering, but it was definitely in my early 30s. I remember listening to this what was I listening to? I was at a job, and it was an African lady preaching on the microphone. And she was like, maybe it was in a dollar van. I don't remember, but I do remember this lady. And she was like, about something, something, something. And she was like, that woman with her pocketbook and her matching shoes and ada. And then you got your this and that and your pocketbook. You know, you don't have to worry about that and this and that and the third. And I was just like, why is she coming at the woman with her pocketbook and her matching shoes? You don't know what how much hard work it took that lady to get that pocketbook with matching shoes. Or maybe she's good at shopping. Maybe she knows how to find a sell. Maybe she's good at finding name brands, or she can afford name brands, or maybe it's not a name brand. Maybe she just knows how to dress and look good and make it look good, whatever it is that she's wearing. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember this, and that kind of stuck with me because I thought it was kind of retarded. Because I was just like, how you gonna come at somebody about um what the fuck they got? Let me tell y'all something, okay? As a person from the concrete fucking jungle and somebody from the northeastern states. First of all, we come from a place and a culture where you are around a bunch of people on a daily fucking basis, okay? Therefore, you're around style. That's a part of the culture of being from the city. You're around style, you're around fashion, you're around models, you're around celebrities, you're around all that energy. And the thing about living up there, you just don't know who you're gonna cross paths with, who you're gonna meet. You just don't know. So you have to be prepared for that. So you got people that get fly all day, every motherfucking day. Honestly, I miss the times I used to get fly like that. I really do. All day, every motherfucking day. And so with that, that's a part of a lifestyle and culture. And also some people just like to look good because they like clothes and fashion, and there's nothing wrong with that. What irritates me is a motherfucker that tries to make something be wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. What do you think people with money dress like? What do you think they look like? Even if they don't have on clothes to you that look like something, they got some expensive shit on. I remember I'm from Queens. So one thing about Queens is like, especially up in like the west part of Queens, right? Or northern Queens area, right? What you find is a lot of people, um how do I say it? A lot of people will wear the Adidas pants because that's a Queens thing, and they will rock some dress shoes, some real nice dress shoes. And you can tell they cost money because the quality of the leather and all these different things of the shoe. And then they wear a nice casual sweater. That shit ain't cheap. Okay, especially sweaters. Sweaters definitely are not cheap. Especially if you get one of them posh tops type sweaters or the different styles of sweaters and stuff. Not cheap at all, right? And so you have that. You go to Harlem, they just look expensive. They style just look expensive. And then they have a nice style on top of that. That's Harlem, right? Then you go out. You got Jersey. Jersey's a little bit more posh. Depending on what part of Jersey you go to, it doesn't matter. I think Jersey's a very posh type of style. You go to people like Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, low key, they got a lot of style. Mainly just fly as fuck. Pennsylvania got a real, I call them the low key fly people. You know what I'm saying? I like this style. Um, Philly especially, they really got style. You know what I'm saying? Because Philly is a lot of up north people come there, so that's why Philly got that style. And a lot of people from Philly be from up north or further up north. You know what I'm saying? So, and Philly is not but like 4 hours from NYC anyway. So yeah, so you got that. And so anyway, what am I getting here? I know there's an argument that America does not have a culture. I understand that. But there is culture in America, right? And for someone who comes from up north or people who come from the West Coast or certain areas in the Midwest, what you're going to find is these people have an understanding of culture because they're around culture. I've been around culture all my life, all kinds of cultures for majority of my life. And so you're going to find people who come from certain type of towns and areas that may believe in not having culture or whatever because they're not around culture to know culture. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going into the culture argument. Fuck it. Here's the thing. Understand that it's always been jealousy, envy, and hatefulness towards Black Americans more than what Black Americans know. And the battle is in getting into master or the white male's graces. That's what it's all been about. And it's not I need y'all to dig deeper. The argument is I don't like the fact that the foundational Black American gets more respect and love than me, who's the immigrant. You understand? That's what it's about. I don't want the what you call the foundational Black American, even if they have, like myself, ancestors, great grandparents from the Caribbean or whatever. I don't want them to get more love than the white man than me. And this is where the ignorance comes in. Because they're looking at, well, look at how they act and look at how they talk and look at all these things. Well, look at they look at the most negative shit that they can find about black. They can find the most negative shit that they can find about black people. And they be like, well, how can the white man still have love for them and still have compassion for them? Because they don't understand the psychology and the history of black people in this country to the white male and the white female. They don't get it. You do you understand what I'm saying? I talk about this all the time. Someone needs to bring to them at the end of the day, even though my ancestors were enslaved, whether from the Caribbean to here, they still were enslaved. You still had a relationship with your slave masters, correct? There's still a relationship, a psychological relationship. Even the black woman, see, this is what's so dark. This is what I'm going to put it like this, okay? What is that psychological relationship? Well, number one, when the black woman gets with the white male, right? Her children can be free. Do you see the difference? Especially if they come out white like him. Her children can be born free, right? That still applies to this day. As a divested is a black woman who is divested, that still applies to this day. Am I not correct about that? But the reason of the psychological relationship between the black male and the white female, right? The psychological relationship between them is the white female was still trying to get her rights as a woman, even while the black woman was enslaved. Think about this shit. She was still trying to get her rights, feminist rights as a woman. A lot of them didn't even have, you got to go into the history of who, because, you know, she owned land and she owned slaves too, but there's still history behind that. And then over her, the black male got to be a slave master over her. So still, the black male and the white female was still left out of the pack with the white male. And so what's going on is when this black immigrant male, because this is who was talking, is speaking, they do not understand this psychology. They're not talking to the right people to get the answer to what they're asking. If you really want to know the answer to this, I should put a still shot. That is the psychology right there that gives you a bit of the answer. Do you also know that our ancestors called the white man daddy? They called him daddy on the field. He was their father. Let's not forget the families that were separated and broken. And just the same way they called her a buck witch, a bed witch, black male was a buck witch to the white male too. And the Caribbean had it worse because he was really fucking the shit out of him. This is the truth to why a lot of Caribbean hate gay people, especially the Jamaicans, because they were getting fucked the most by the white man. Literally, he was fucking them. This is what Tariq Nasheed was trying to tell y'all. That's why he showed that shit. He was like, you know why they hate gay people so much? Because they was getting fucked. Literally by the white slave masters. The British, which were the worst ones, I think the British and the French were the worst slave masters. From whatever I read in history, if they were your slave masters, you had it worse. Because at least the one in America, the Caucasian here, at least gave their black slaves land or some shit. So that is the answer to what it is. Because there's still a psychological relationship that the Caucasian white male here in America has with the black male, and that and the black people. And that is what makes the black immigrants mad, because they don't understand that part of history. See, they think in their head, well, you were slaves. If they're Caribbean, they're stupid. They were slaves too. That's what trips me out. You were slaves. Okay? And so therefore, How did you get all this rights after you've been slaves? That shows you right there that they don't even have the capacity to even grasp the history of who we really are as black people in this country. That's really what the answer turns out to be. All right. And why is the divestors thrown in here? Because like I said, the divestors be listening. They do. I can tell. My intuitions can tell. And the thing about me is I'm not here to go back and forth with a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. Like I just don't. Once I turn this motherfucker off in the next 5 minutes, that's it. That's it. It's turned the fuck off. All right. Once I take my shower and get ready for work and prep my hair and whatever the fuck I do, that's it. And if I have thoughts about certain things and I decide that I want to act on those thoughts and jump on a microphone, that's what I do. But other than that, my nigga, like, I'm just sitting here looking because, of course, I had to see a video to get to this point because this always happened to me. And I'm sitting here and I listen to certain things and people, and I'm starting to recognize a pattern. Southern people have been very duped when it comes to history, when it comes to knowing themselves, when it comes to culture. They have been very, very duped by the Caucasian. Very, very, very brainwashed and manipulated. That they really don't even know anything about what black culture is. That's why most of them go back to Africa, because they don't really understand even what black people in this country has even done. Black people and people of color have done in this country for us to even have half the rights that we have to speak up the way that we do. And you have to also understand, even if you get into divestment, you have to get into the psychology once again. Once again, the psychology of understanding too why the black woman is being wise enough to choose to date everything opposite than the black male or anything black adjacent. There's a deep psychology that sits right there. There's a dark psychology between the black woman and the black man. Like, yo, like it's like no one, like, these things still, you can't talk about these things without going into the psychosis of what this shit is. There's a reason that the darker skinned people are the biggest colorists, the biggest texturists, and all these things. There's a reason. Everything is causal and effect. The effect of these exoticals coming out and speaking the way that they're speaking, and they're doing their thing. Okay, I mean, shit, I gotta motherfucking give it to them motherfucking them exoticals. The way the exoticals are speaking the way that they motherfucking speaking is because of the divestors. The divestors open the door for the exoticals to speak up. And then this is when the divestors are referring to them as a preference, but that's not what the exoticals are referring to themselves as. Okay? Because the thing is, the exoticals, right? They just, you can't fuck with them. You can't fuck with them. All right? You cannot, when it comes to the exoticals, is what I'm trying to say to you. All right? You can't fuck with them because the points that they're making, I mean, I know feelings are hurt. Oh, he can have his money back. What's going on? Yeah, I know when they come to me, I'll be fucking doing other shit because I'm about to go hop in the shower. Because yo, I was looking at something, right? I was looking at something, right? And what was I looking at? I was looking at how people are in this society, right? And I was looking at how like distractive people are. like like people are very distracting, you know? And I was looking at how not only are people just distracting or distractive, but it's so very interesting to me that the bigger picture is always missed. And these people, it's just so funny. It's like the news reporter always finds the most goofiest person to put the microphone in their face and to speak. And it's just like, yo, that is not what half of the majority or even 10% of the people believe or listen to or agree with this person. This person is a goofy. And they do the same thing. They do the same thing on these panels and the people that they talk to. They never talk to somebody who actually has knowledge and information to really bring it in on them, to bring books with them, to read like reference, like to really bring a scientific mind. Because that goes to show me I understand wholeheartedly about laws of attraction and quantum leaping so much more. And I also understand about when it comes to um when it comes to, how do I say this? Focusing on things that make you happy and manifesting what you want to manifest for yourself. I'm starting to really come to the big picture of why doing that is so important. I'm about to shake and move while I'm talking to y'all. Because if you don't, what you gonna find is all of this shit gonna weigh you down, bro. All of this shit that you listen to gonna make you angry and feel some type of way. And being a smart person, especially if you're a creative, you'll pour this shit into your art. You know what I mean? You'll be like, I just thought of an art piece. I just got dialogue for my show. I just got, I just found something for my AI movie. You'll become just a little bit more wiser about how you navigate. You feel me? You really will. Because this shit right here, man, if you don't pay attention, it's distractive. And what's that word? It will it will really charge you up. You know what I mean? It really will. It will charge you up. You'll be sitting here looking crazy, sounding crazy, uh motherfucking screaming at microphones and screaming and going crazy in your house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm so serious when I say that. I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that. Because my thing is, I think that as a whole, everybody, and this is me talking to y'all now. You know what I'm saying? People are very fucked up. Like, and people are going to put their attention, their eyes, on shit that they feel and deem very important. And I'm talking like this because these are older people. Okay? These are older people. Okay. These are not your, how do I say this? These are not young people. These are not people in their 20s. These are not people who are young whippersnappers. Like, these are older people having these conversations. And so you would think that somebody this old would have some kind of information and knowledge, and no, they don't, baby. They don't. Okay? And that's the wild part. Hold on. Okay. And this is where you have to, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. This is where you're gonna have to start doing your motherfucking quantum leaping shit. This is where you're gonna have to do your laws of attraction. You know, you know what I'm saying? Your laws of attraction, manifesting shit a little bit harder. Do you get what I'm saying to you? You're gonna just have to go a little bit harder with it. And you're gonna have to believe in what it is that you're attracting and you're manifesting for your life. You're gonna have to go harder with that shit. Because at this point, y'all, these people just don't have no wisdom at this point. You know, there's no wisdom. There's no intelligence. And so if you get yourself pulled into that goddamn world, all you're gonna be doing is stressing yourself the fuck out. Literally stressing yourself the fuck out over what these people are saying. It's not worth it at this point. It's not worth it to even care. These are the best times. Don't let nobody tell you different. These are the best times to be a fucking artist. These are the best times to be a creative. Whether you paint, whether you do whatever. These are the best times to do it. Why do I tell you this? Because first of all, you had to be in a guild or something in order to even pick up a brush, a pen, or even get on a microphone. You had to go to some kind of school before you had permission to even do that. And you don't have to do that no more. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So all of these different things that's going on out here, they ain't even worth paying attention to at this point. So, yes, my dear, the tables have fucking turned. Okay? Or maybe you already knew this, but the tables have fucking turned. And the tables that have turned are the tables that are pretty much showing all of us what people have deemed to be important to them, what people are jealous and envious of that you're not even thinking about. Okay? This is what people do. And because now you can have this knowledge and information from anywhere else, whether you get it from me first or whatever the fuck it may be, I need you to understand that when you're walking out here and people got attitudes, people frowned up, people energy toxic as fuck and shit like that. Or if you like me, you motherfucker just move out the way. You know what I'm saying? Or you just you know what I'm saying, ignore people and not give a fuck or whatever it is that you do, or you project that energy out there, because that's something I need to start doing more. You project that energy out there, or you fucking spiritually arming yourself up, such as put your reverse oil or something like that on you and shit like that. You got to understand how important these things are. Because there are people who are truly fucked up, and this is the kind of shit that occupies their mind. That even if you were to bring something intellectual to them, even if you were to bring something that they can actually, that makes sense, like I said, the psychology of this and that, you got some people that'll still throw that away. But I see a pattern, and the pattern I see is Southern people. Northern people, West Coast people know how to sit down together and really have an intellectual conversation. We really know how to do that. We really know how to sit down and have an intellectual conversation, an intellectual discussion, and agree to disagree, or agree to agree, or just disagree, and we move on with our lives. We know how to do that. And some people in this world are just distractions. That's another thing. Some people in this world are just complete distractions. They ain't they just there to cause disagreeableness and straight confusion just for the sake of it. All right? Just for the sake of it. And I think that don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying? Don't fucking care. Um I think that it comes to the whole shebang of, how do I say this? It comes to the whole shebang of people are fucked up. Y'all know I get distracted. Think how I'm getting distracted now because I'm looking at something. I'm about to go though. People are fucked up. I think that as a whole, you have to just quantum leap and manifest, because everything is causal and effect. All right. Everything is causal and effect. And everything is a matter of the choices that everybody has been making. The everything about what everybody has been doing has caused all of this. the like, you know what I'm saying? And then Trump just pushing everybody out. They don't even have the brain capacity to understand white supremacy. That was all a white supremacist move. They don't even have the capacity to. This is why I gotta go, because I'm not paying attention. They don't even have the capacity to understand that that is what's going on. All right. So listen to me, people. Well, listen to Abraham Hicks. Listen to Abraham Hicks. Listen to what she has to say. You know, pay attention to the things that you want to pay attention to. For example, repainting my wall in my living room. Okay. I'm serious. I was looking at something that manifested yesterday, and I said, how in the fuck? I said, I'm not even gonna ask. I'm gonna just be thankful in this moment. I said, I'm gonna repaint the wall in my living room. We're going for a new energy in here. So if it's a new energy, it's gonna be new curtains, it's gonna be a new decoration. And I'm like, hey, this is great. This is something great to do before my birthday. This is something I need. Maybe this color just open up everything that needs to be open. This is perfect. And this is something that I had made plans to do for that time. Now, what am I getting at? I don't watch anything with Trump. I do watch stuff with Divestors if I feel like it. But for my own purposes. I continue to put myself in a classroom of study every single day. Writing every single day, just every single day, being consistent with the work that I do. I have seen classes in the work that I do, and they're not expensive. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to take that class. You know what I'm saying? So I got plans for that. I have requested, I have even decided I'm going to even put that day in early to be off of work, just to be able to attend this class. You see what I'm saying? I also have like so many other little things that I've been seeing, that I've been focusing on for myself, that I've been manifesting for myself through all of these hard times, still doing things, still getting certain things done, manifesting and moving around and doing things that I need to get done in these times. Because whatever times it has been, even when this man was the president before, it didn't stop me from doing the things that I'm doing. And this is what I'm talking about. Okay? These are the things that I'm saying, because all of these things in life is going to still move on, and it's not going to stop. But what will continue to always and never stop either are people who will continue to be who they are and show their ass. So as soon as you take your attention and your eyes on the frequency and say, hey, I'm going to go listen to this and go see what this African has to say about this and that, guess what? You're going to be in the frequency of that African who has to say something about this and that. You're going to be right there in that frequency. You're going to be right there in the frequency of when you sit here and you decide and say, hey, what the divestors got going on. You're going to be right in that frequency. You're going to be right in the frequency of what it is that they talking about and what the fuck they got to say. I was at my little sister's house, and I was looking at her living room, right? And her living room was full of books, okay? Full of books. And the books were like everything that had to do with chef shit, cooking shit. Just how to cook this. How to cook this. How to do this. How to she even had that chocolate guy because I asked her, I said, you ever see the guy that make the chocolate? She's like, yeah, that's his cookbook. I said, damn, that's the first person I thought about when I looked at that book. She said, yeah, that's his cookbook. I said, oh shit. So she had a bunch of cookbooks. She had books that she had from school that she still kept. Okay. She had what else did my sister have? She had I was trying to remember what else she had. She had very detailed books about cooking, about being a baker, about cheese, about anything you can think of to study the artistry of being a chef, the craft of being a cook, of cooking, right? And that's the same thing that I do here. I study the craft of being a writer, the craft of being a screenwriter. I study the craft of what it is to really be successful, to hone in on something, to have a hypnotic rhythm. There's a craft to all of these things. And if you get off your rhythm, what you're going to find is all of this shit is going to distract you so much that you're not going to want to do nothing. So much that you're going to give up and you ain't going to want to do shit no more. You're just going to say, fuck it all. And this is what I'm asking. This is the biggest thing that I'm telling you that I need everyone to pay attention to. Because you'll walk away from everything that you build. And I want you all, and I mean this from my heart, I want you all to have some kind of hobby, some kind of thing that you're aiming for, some kind of thing that you're learning about, and that you're honing in on the very thing that you're learning about. I want you all to do that. All right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Each other or not. Well, y'all, every time that I think that I have done the last video that I'm going to do about these black immigrants, something else pops up, and I just think, my goodness,
Quick, name one thing that'll make new employees 82% more likely to stay and increase job performance by more than 70%.
I'm out of here, y'all.
It's effective onboarding. And while Bamboo HR software is known for making onboarding easy, we've got another helpful tool for you, the onboarding checklist. All those key crucial onboarding steps in one place so you and your new hires don't miss a beat. Make better first days and make it easy for people to stay and thrive in your organization. Did I mention it's free? So get on board with the Bamboo HR onboarding checklist. See what I did there?
Do you know what's really fun? Making a website on Wix.
I hate commercials.
Hey, we're How Ridiculous, 3 childhood friends and digital content creators that do epic stuff from Perth, Australia.
We've got about 50 million followers. We're in the billions of views.
Will we ever be able to get these people out of our business? I don't think we will. These people do not have lives. They don't have an anchor. They're running all over the world trying to find relevance and not really confronting the issues that really face them. So they want to turn around and try to tell us what we need to do, who we're not, and what we don't have. It is driving these Black people crazy that we are right here in America content. We're not looking for anywhere to go. We're not looking for anybody to save us. We are basically doing what we do, and it's driving them crazy because they don't have anywhere to land. Now, let me just show you what's got me triggered.
No foundation. See, African Americans asked for civil rights, but they didn't have a foundation on which it can germinate. See, things you ask, especially.
What do you mean they didn't have a foundation for it?
They have no culture, they have no language, they have no history, they have no ethnicity, they have nothing.
Yes, they did. They came here with their culture. They came.
Who is they?
The different African tribes.
Different is going to be the main culture.
Right.
So with time, it become Ebonics. Nobody has anything. They are now still using 2 English names. They are now having only Christianity as their religion. They can remember their history, culture, traditions, customs. So you have no foundation, is what I'm trying to say. African Americans in this country are the only groups. They have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them.
But currently, there's not an African American culture.
No.
Yes, there is.
What is it? Name 2 value systems in the African American culture.
Value system?
Yes. Name 2 taboos in the African American culture system. Name 2 traditions, by the way, in the African American culture system. Okay, forget it. Name 2 customs in the African American culture. Look, I'm being serious.
No, but I mean, I'm thinking about it.
Yes, there is no value for freedom if you don't understand what it is. The concept of free. You have to have a foundation on which it would balance when you ask for it. Civil rights, they give it to you. You have no culture. Nancy, you've been here, born here. Why would you be surprised if I say African Americans don't have a culture? What, twerking? So anything
but I feel like African American culture has definitely
you say
mainstream.
No, you say the word, the African American culture. What is it? Okay,
fine. Like hip hop, not hip hop. I mean, I don't want to. Yes, I feel like
you haven't thought about it. It's fine. Don't make things up.
I'm not making it up.
Okay,
I feel like
then educate me. You feel. You should know. You were born and raised here.
Yes, but I have a.
Are you African American?
I'm Haitian American.
That's correct. Do you see why you were being specific with that? Because anybody who encounters you already knows you before. If they know you are Haitian, at least 2 things come to their mind.
What is that?
If they've been to Haiti, they can look at work ethics and they say, yes, Haitians, I know them. Service industry, they know where they do well. Food, they can say yes. And even language, Creole.
Right.
And they can say, oh, I love Haitians. Because they saw the culture in abstract before they encountered you. So people go over the bridge of your culture, your tradition, your customs, and that helps them to know how to
address it.
Exactly.
I see.
No, you will soon know too, in addition to seeing. So I'm saying to you, any people who ask for these things, which are abstract, freedom, for example, independence, for example, and civil right, for example, voting right, for example, you must have a foundation on which these things are going to balance. Because the people there have to uniformly agree with consensus. This is our way of life. The do's and the don'ts involved in our culture. Even you have to create an artificial culture.
Is that why the civil rights movement is considered dead?
It's dead and useless. They got it, but they could not.
I know you motherfucking lying. I finally started listening while I was taking that shower, y'all. Did he just say, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did y'all hear that shit? I finally fucking listened. That's why I didn't mute the phone, because I know I was going to have to say some shit after I took this shower. Yeah, I can take a quick shower, y'all. My showers usually be longer. I make myself take a shower at this time because it's more closer to work. Because if I take a shower, like, my shower would be like 1 hour long, bro. I want to know. I'll be in the shower for a long time. Water baby. All right, so he lost me. That's why he lost me. No wonder I wasn't listening. This motherfucker said we have to come in the unity of civil rights. Does he even understand what civil rights is? Okay, now this is a perfect example of what the fuck I'm talking about, y'all. This right here. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I gotta get my hair cut. I need my hair back. Okay. This is why I say you got to quantum leap, y'all. You got to quantum leap. You got to manifest. You got to focus on you and focus on yourself and focus on the things that you love. This is the example why I'm saying that. Because whenever you are studying something, right? I'll take this off in a minute. I'm sure you can tell I'm getting dressed back here. Whenever you are studying something, all right, you have to understand, you have to put as much time and concentration into your craft as well as practicing your craft. You understand me? That means, let's say, I'll give you an example for me. Screenwriter here, right? Therefore, I have one person who I engage in his books, okay? And the one person who I engage in his books, I have 3 of his books right now, okay? And I sit down with his books like a classroom. I even fall asleep listening to his books. I even wake up listening to his books. And I noticed that I sleep in more when I do listen to his stuff, but I do receive a lot from listening to him that way, right? Then I also have the aspect of me where I have also noticed with myself that I flip between the books. I can't afford his class. I can't afford his class, right? I can. If I really save up for the next, if I slowly save up for the next 6 months, I can afford his class. Seriously. But right now, I can't really afford the class. See what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, if the class was like about a good 500, I could make that. I could even get help with that. I'll be like, I can get somebody to help me chip in on that. Even if it was 6. But that shit after tax, 800 and something, basically damn near $900 for that class. Okay? Now for somebody like that, I think that's pretty damn cheap for somebody of his caliber and quality. Okay, yeah, that's cheap. But anyway, point is, I still have his books. So I still have his energy. I still have his lessons. I still have the way he thinks, and I still have the way he teaches from having his books, right? So I focus on this one person who I study from. So I focus on this one person who I get my best lessons from. Okay? All right? So I focus on and I focus on how I receive the notes. Even if I have to go to ChatGPT and record something to study harder, that's what I focus on. Because you have to get into the craft of what it is that you do. You have to get into the full artistry of what it is that you're into and what it is that you do. That is very key. Why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because I'm giving you a formula so that you don't get riled up and charged up while listening to shit like this. I gotta make a call, make sure that I'm on the schedule. But sometimes they be throwing your ass off that schedule. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this play a little bit more. And I'm gonna mute my background.
You don't balance it on any foundation. Japanese suffered in this country. 435,000 Japanese were kept in internment camps. Not a single one killed each other for the 3 years they were there during the Second World War. You understand? Not a single one became a daddy baby or baby daddy while they were in the internment camp, because there was a third object they were focused on: their culture. It has self-determination, customs, traditions. Something guided them to survive. Anything they ask for in this country will be balanced on a foundation for their children.
Well, they say Haitian people have resilience.
Oh, resilience is not culture, please. No. Every human being has a resilience in some way or the other.
Resilience to survive, to stay alive. That's correct.
That is why you can see the things people ask in this country: the Irish, the Italians, the Jews. It took a while before the Jews got recognized. Exactly. But as soon as they got it, they balanced it on a foundation: culture, customs, traditions. These things conjure what should be your taboos, do's and don'ts.
All right,
everybody has to recognize it. To the point, if you violate it, I'll call you out. If we can afford, we kick you out of the community because we don't want you to destroy it. But they all went different roads. There's Malcolm X asking for something different. Martin Luther King asked
Malcolm X didn't ask for anything. What did he ask for?
Segregation. He was talking to his people.
Oh, to segregate themselves.
Yes. So you can see one group of people who suffered the same experience, yet they don't have a doctrine. And that without a doctrine, which is always balanced on a on a foundation of culture, without it, anything you ask for is going to be useless.
Okay, we can get rid of this now. And we can get rid of this. Okay, I'm still getting dressed. I'm still talking. Hope y'all enjoyed that ASMR shower in the background while y'all was listening to that African speak, because they already had the music, so I just added the shower. Because let it rain. Let the bullshit just rain. Just cry me a goddamn river, please. Okay, just cry me a fucking river. Okay, so this is why I stress the things that I stress the way that I stress it, guys. This is it right here. This is it right here. Because when I tell you from the bottom of my heart, you will thank yourself, and you will thank yourself, your whole self, for ignoring all this shit. Okay? And saying, you know what? I'm going to put my eyes, my ears to focus on what it is that I love to do and what I enjoy. When I tell you that I promise you, and I promise you this, it will make you so happy because you won't be moved by this bullshit. Do you hear me? I should put on my bonnet today. You will not be moved by this bullshit. You understand me? I don't even know what the fuck this man talking about. Do y'all know what he's talking about? Because I feel sure. Let's get back to my little sis. So it's at her house. Beautiful couch set. Love her couch set. I thought I had a nice couch set. My sis, damn, her shit too comfortable. God damn it. I wouldn't want my couch to be that comfortable. But little sis, right? Basically, I didn't put my perfume on, but it don't matter. I wear perfume all day at work. But little sis, basically, I was in her living room. I saw all her book collection. I even seen the DVDs and the shows that she watched. I saw that I basically saw that. There it is. I was looking for this. I'm sure that her biggest passion in life, is her cooking and which is her art. You know what I'm saying? Her cooking is her art. And that's her biggest passion in her life. I saw how the craftsmanship of the art is this. And I saw how important the passion of the art was for her. Okay? Saw how important it was. Just like screenwriting is for me, or any form of writing is for me. So what are the other things that I have to do? Because I'm more than just a writer, but that's been what I've been focused on. I have to learn grammar. Right? I know I speak with a lot of slang. Don't come for me. I have to learn grammar. I have to learn how to edit myself without using Grammarly. I have to learn how to maybe even expand my vocabulary, right? It depends on what it is that I want to hone in. How to write dialogue, elements of style and script writing. All of these different things play a part in how I do things, right? Why do these things play such a part in how I do things. These things play a part in how I do things because that is a part of what I'm focused on. If these people were intelligent, these people were intelligent. These people would take the time to hone in on African American history. They would read the books, right? Do you see where I'm going with this? These people would take the time to understand who Martin Luther King really was and what he really was about. These people would take the time to understand basically how much, how do I say this? How do I say this? These people sit here and they don't have the intelligence to realize, let me dig into the psychology of slavery. Let me dig into the things that I'm asking about the history of this country and the people. Let me study some books. Let me see the books and let me see the people that they read. And let me see the stuff that they do and how they do it to understand this. They don't have the intelligence to do that. That's the point that I'm making. So when you sit here and you realize, hey, this is what I want to do with my life. This is what I like to do. This is my hobby. This is this, this is that, right? That's the very moment, in that moment that you discover that you say, oh, let me study this. Let me read about this. Let me learn about this. Oh, I'm gonna watch this. Who is this? Oh, let me see who this person is. Let me see what this be about. That's true intelligence, people. And that's true craftsmanship, as they call it. That's you honing your craft. That's truly, damn it, I left my front light on. That's you truly honing your craft as well. And that's how you hone, because hone means to sharpen your craft. And that's how you do it. God damn it, I gotta get my charger. 1 second. And using my little sister as the example, that's how she hones her craft. There's not a dull moment that me and my siblings and in-laws do not compliment how good her pastries are. Not a dull moment. What the fuck? What the fuck's going on? It's not a dull moment that her pastries do not get a huge compliment from one of us. It's not a dull moment that we be like, man, April got the best this, that, and the third, and this, that, and the third. And it makes so much sense that she has the best this, that, and whatever it may be to us or in general, because April is honing her craft day by day with those recipe books. And who knows what she's watching on that phone? You know, who knows if she's watching alone too? And this is what I want y'all to do. Thank me later. All this other shit don't matter, bruh. All this other shit just don't matter. Because I'm gonna tell you why at this age that I am. We're gonna sit back in your life and you're gonna realize I should have put more time into this. I should have put more time into that. I should have focused more on this. I know what I did in my life. I know the choices I made. I know the things that I walked away from. I know the things in my life that I said, fuck it to. I know the things that I gave up on. But I know the choices that I made and I got back into those things. I know the things that I had to get rid of to get back into those things. Do you feel me? And then when I got back, realizing what I love to do the most, I said, you know what? This is it right here that I love to do. And therefore, that thing that I love to do, I'm going to do that shit. Right? And therefore, that thing that I love to do, let me make sure this shit ain't taking my money. Okay. Therefore, the thing that I also love to do, now I'm honing in more on that thing that I love to do, that I found somebody that's my own personal teacher to teach me this until one day I could take their class. Because I was more ready for that at that time in my life. Okay? I was way more ready for it at that time in my life. At this time in my life, really, but you could say that. So much that I do it every day. So much that has become my world. It don't mean I don't handle what I need to handle. I just pulled up my carpet in the hallway right now. About to get this living room prepped. About to start taking all this stuff down in my desk and put it in this box so I can start painting again. Get that shit done. After I get that shit done, move on with my life. Okay? Move on with my life. Move my life forward the way it needs to move forward and hone more into what I love to do. And hone and prepare for the opportunities that I've been taking. Because I promise you, all this shit here, you have to first go into the mind and realize, wait a minute, why is this person asking a Haitian American about African American culture when there's plenty of fucking books to read on it? Plenty of fucking books to read. There's a whole book. There's books titled African American Vegan, African American Culture, African American Boys and Girls. Like, there's so many books. So that's the moment where you have to realize, okay, we're not doing this. We're not doing this today. Let's keep it moving. Or let's bounce. Let's go get into something else. And when I saw my sister's living room, something in that motivated me. I was like, sis, you got so much stuff. Gave my daughter a refrigerator for her dorm and everything. I'm like, sis, you got so much stuff. Oh, that refrigerator is when I make my cakes. All these different things. And I'm just like, that's how you build your world. That's how you organize your life and your world. It's around who you are. That artist, that creative, whatever you are, that's the world you build your home around. Not that I never knew that, but you get what I'm saying? You build your life. Oh shit. Let me get this motherfucking chapstick. Oh. You build your life around what you love. Mm-hmm. You build your life around what you love. But you have to know what you love. You see? You have to know yourself. You have to know what you want. You even have to know what you need. You have to know what your, I don't like to use the word passion, but what you are obsessed with. Because it is an obsession. I'm obsessed with my story. I'm obsessed with film. I'm obsessed with it. And that's okay. I'm obsessed with character building and character arcs. I'm obsessed with learning about dialogue and how it works. Robert McGee and all the lessons that I learned from him and everything and how he teaches about storytelling and the craft of story and what he calls art film. I'm obsessed with all these things. Whether I'm at work, whether I'm out, whatever I'm doing, it revolves around that thing. I'm obsessed with anything that deals with arts and crafts. And my writing is all a part of that. I even like to listen to people talk. I even like to hear people's views so I can write on it and put it in a story. Put it in real time. I like to tell stories that in my own type of way from my experience. Or how I like to watch TV. You have people that make investments. A woman said she paid 5 stacks for a screenwriting class. She invested that much for a screenwriting class, and I get it. Because I just told you Robert's class was about 900, didn't I? Told you Robert's class was 900. The other class is cheaper than that I'm going to take. That was cheaper, but I'm going to take that class. And the class for producers and filmmakers, that class costs more, and that's what she does. But I also looked at the opportunity. I get to go to this class. I get to make connections. I get to meet other filmmakers, other screenwriters, other actors, because anybody can be in that writing class, in that screenwriting class. Doesn't necessarily have to be screenwriters. That's the thing. Your mind has to expand. It may even just be a very small class, but your mind has to expand. And you have to be in preparation. I'm writing episode the act 2 of my episode. That's where I'm at. And because I know from now to next month, my birthday, and then the top of the month, pretty much I got a little over a month's time to apply for this class. Actually, I'm gonna give myself a week to apply for the class. 2 weeks maybe to apply for the class. And then I'm gonna give myself attend the class. And then what's the name? And you know what I'm saying? And just move on from there. That class may be the very thing that, who knows, I may have the script written by that time, or I may have the outline completed. And the class can help me clean up the structure of the outline and the structure of the script. Who knows what I'm going to do, but I'm working. That's all that matters, is I'm working. And what happens is, because I know I'm prepared to take a class like that, it puts me more in preparation for the class. So when I present my work or present the information from someone who is a producer, who is the indie filmmaker, I can get the critique and the feedback. I can take it or leave it. And so these things are key. These things are absolute key when it comes to working like this. I also am looking at something else too. Whatever you put any type of focus on, you become more conscious of that thing. I tell y'all that all the time. So if you focus yourself on what it is that you love to do, okay, you're going to become more conscious. You're going to see more people like yourself. You're going to see more people doing what you do. You're going to add more people on your socials like yourself. That's what you're going to do. All right? Season 3, Christian Trailer. That was a TV show. Okay. But you're going to start realizing, just like, see, look, I just got a note. Alexander Payne thinks your movie is too long. The director talks screenwriting in a recent interview. Okay. Saying that our films are too long. Who's a 2-time Oscar winner, is firmly firm by regardless of where he sees the issue. Or asked about modern film writing, he told Variety in a recent interview. I've evolved in my thinking about that kind of stuff. When I got out of film school in 1990, I left. Well, it just restarted. But anyway, I guess he don't want us putting it on my show. Okay. I left film school. I was against Sid Field and Robert McGee. Oh, that's the people I read. Huh. I defecate on those tenets of screenwriting. Who's to say Act 1 stops at page 30? We were coming out of the 70s, which had beautiful exploration in artistic films. I graduated from high school in 1979, so there are the films that taught me what an American commercial movie is. And then you got into the 80s and things started to really get downhill, certainly in American cinema. And my snobby school friends and I would accuse those books of turning, hold on. Let her know. She kind of. Hold on, y'all. Something just hit me. Make sure I'm good. I see tomorrow. Okay. I would accuse those books of turning everything into a formula. Now I'm 64 years old and see so many films which are 3 or 4 hours long and without very good reason. And I sit in a lot of modern films and say, cut it, cut. I get it, cut. There are a lot of films which will only play a what? When the hell was movies 3 to 4 hours long? This old man. Cinema in general was a miracle in any movie world except some. They're all small miracles, but even at least the most avant-garde. Cinema is still a popular medium. This is a long-winded answer as to why I prefer old films. They're not even 3 to 4 hours long. What is he talking about? He said he loathes Sid and Robert McGee. Damn. That's why my algorithm. You see what I'm saying? But I stand on Robert McGee. I don't get caught up in the pages. What this supposed to do with this page and all that type of shit. I stand on Robert McGee. You make sure she ain't forget about me. You're really good for that. And so another thing that I stand on as well is it is your choice. If you want to take what you're doing and make it industry or go industry with it, or if you wanna what's the name? If you want to make it your own and build your own empire, that's your choice as well. Okay. So note that I gotta go. I'm out of here, y'all.